Tonight, I'd like to invite you into a dream, one that has a message for you. Welcome. I'm so happy you're here. This is a dream-themed pick a card reading, and I chose texts that speak in that soft, strange language dreams use. Symbolism, atmosphere, small details you can gain insight from. This reading is about letting meaning arrive the way it does in dreams, indirectly, letting your own subconscious speak. Let's spread the cards, and I'll pull 3 cards from you to choose from. And as a trinket, I'll also pull, in a moment, 1 small angel number card as something to help you choose and give extra insight. Group 1, your card is Queen of Pentacles. Group 2, your card is Page of Swords. And Group 3, your card is 10 of Swords. And as promised, let's pull your numbers too. There they are. Let's see. 1313 for Group 1. This is a number of clarity. 1234 for Group 2. This stands for persistence. And 1111 or 1111 for Group 3. This stands for intuition. You can meet this reading in 2 ways. If you are wide awake, you can treat it like a shared dream. Watch the images with me, notice what you feel, and let your intuition translate the symbols into something personal. Or, if you're tired, you are welcome to simply listen and treat this reading as a sleep story. I'll read it so that you don't need to watch the screen. If you drift off, that's wonderful. Take your time selecting your cards. When you're ready, choose the group you feel pulled toward by the artwork, the mood, or a feeling of recognition. Once you've selected your group, you'll find the timestamps in the description, so you can jump directly to your reading. Take only what truly feels like yours and let the rest fade away. All right. Breathe once, nice and slow. Let the dream begin. Group 1. You chose the Queen of Pentacles. Before we explore what she may mean, take a moment to simply meet her. As I describe the card, notice what responds, not what you think, but what you feel. This reading will unfold layer by layer, but it begins here with this card. She is surrounded by warmth and beauty. Gold glimmers in her hands and in her clothing. There's softness here, a grounded, tangible abundance that can be touched and felt. A pet fox rests at her lap, calm and cared for. Butterflies move gently around her as if this place is safe enough for them to linger. Stay with the image for a moment. Notice where your attention settles. In this reading, the Queen of Pentacles represents you, the place you're standing in right now. This queen carries a message of abundance that's lived. She reminds you that life is meant to be enjoyed, not someday, but here where you already stand. She speaks of beauty you're allowed to pause for, of pleasure that doesn't need justification, of the simple richness found in textures, warmth, color, closeness. For you, this card arrives as encouragement to notice where abundance already exists in your life, to let yourself enjoy it fully, to remember that tending to your own needs is a part of how you keep life flourishing, to let beauty, pleasure, and care be part of your everyday rhythm. Together with her, there is a number, a small signal we'll place next to the Queen before we move forward. Let's see what it brings into the picture. Angel number 1313, Clarity. The card reads, as the storm passes, the clarity is felt faster than lightning is seen against a dark sky. The divine is reminding you that clarity is readily available. All you have to do is ask. You have weathered the storm, and now the sky is clearing. The affirmation of the card reads, loving energy surrounds me, and I trust that the clarity I feel is the answer I need. In this reading, 1313 speaks of clarity that arrives after a storm. Paired with the Queen of Pentacles, this clarity feels reassuring. It tells you to take a breather after the storm of your life to recover. It also encourages you to allow to trust what you already see or feel in your body. From here, the reading unfolds very simply. The Queen of Pentacles represents you, the place you're standing in right now. The cards placed closer to her show what's close to you. The ones further away show what's more distant. That distance can be felt in different ways. It may speak of time, something approaching, or further ahead, or it may speak of the heart, what feels present and familiar, and what's still on the edge of awareness, beginning to move closer. There's no need to decide which way this applies, well, unless you want to. We'll let your intuition choose how it speaks to you. Both ways of reading are welcome here. So, take a slow breath with me. let's invite the dream images forth. When you're ready, let's begin laying down the cards. Your first card is the Five of Swords. Let's study this card for a bit. The scene is dark and muted, almost shadowed. A central figure stands, holding several swords. Another figure turns away in the background, lowered, as if retreating after a hurt. Before we speak about meaning, let yourself reflect. What does this scene stir for you? What part of it feels familiar? Now, let's discover together what this card may be showing you. Five of Swords is a card of conflict. It speaks about a conflict that has already played itself out. The tension has peaked and passed, even if its echo still lingers. This card can speak about the aftermath of a darker chapter, not a dramatic chaos, but dim atmosphere that asked for endurance. I do feel that this is passing, though. This feels like you're sorting through the remains. And this card is a recognition of what has been endured. Let's move on to your next card. Your next card is the Ace of Wands. Let's stay with this card for a bit. The image is warm and luminous. A hand reaches upward, holding a glowing wand, lit like a magic wand with a diamond on top. Light spreads outward from it, cutting through the darker background. There's a sense of movement here, something being offered, spark or maybe awakened. Before we speak about the meaning, let yourself reflect. What does this image bring to mind for you? What could this symbol of magic being offered to you mean in your personal life? Now, let's gently explore together what this card may be showing you. Ace of Wands represents a spark of new energy. Something is awakening after a quieter or heavier period. It may speak about a return of motivation, desire, or creative impulse. It reflects the first movement forward after rest or recovery. It represents energy that feels alive, warm, and promising. Like promise of spring, this light is returning, even if delayed. Let's see how your life continues to unfold in your next card. Oh, how unexpected! Your next card is the Knight of Swords. Let's study this card. In this image, you see a knight's helmet placed upon a crest, together with a sword. A light like starlight shines through the helmet, but And this is important. There is no night inside of it. What you see here are only the equipment and the beautiful full moon behind the items. Take a moment to sit with the image. Notice how it feels compared to the warmth of the previous card. What does this image say to you? Now, let's gently explore the card further. I think that the main message of this card is that you're being offered a suit of armor. For protection, perhaps, but more likely to embark on a quest. The energy of the night is forward momentum and movement. What appears here as a symbol can show up in real life as nightly action, speaking truth, moving decisively, being brave. Swords are a suit of air and thought and mind, so this can speak of a search of mental clarity and decisiveness. Thoughts sharpen, priorities align, words become direct. In a more traditional way of reading the cards, this card can also point to a person entering your life. Someone who sharpens your thinking and challenges you to act with clarity. A lunar knight, someone with a brave heart, mental clarity, and decisive actions. This card stood farthest away from you, so this is but a distant echo at this point, an omen or a budding calling. You must be patient. I will now switch decks into oracle cards, and let's see how the cards wish to elaborate these three topics further. The cards placed above can be read as reflections of the higher self, the guiding perspective, the conscious awareness, the part of you that sees the wider pattern. If you so choose, you can even see them as guidance from the spirit. Let's turn the card connected to the Five of Swords. Ooh, your card is Winter's Dream with the keyword gestation period. And this card is number 63. Let's take a moment to look at this card together. The image feels soft and dreamlike, almost suspended in time. At the center, there is a pale spiral form, like a shell, and emerging from it, a fairy-like figure, resting. Around her, piles of snow lie layered and heavy, as if gathered slowly over time. The colors are cool, gentle, and muted. Winter whites, soft violets, dim light. The atmosphere feels sleepy. Everything appears still and insulated, held in place. Take a moment to notice how this dreamy image feels to you. What kind of stillness does it carry? How might that stillness be reflected in your own life? When you're ready, we can gently explore what this card is adding to the story. This card invites you to go within. It's a card about conscious gestation period, incubation, where life and things are rearranged. In this position, where it explains Five of Swords and is combined with the overarching energy of the Queen of Pentacles, this card speaks of exhale and recovery. If you just went through something heavy, it's okay now to rest. Be calm. Ease up. Spring will come, but before it, rest your winter's dream. Seeds need time of cold before they can sprout in the spring. Butterflies, too, need to rest in their cocoon before they can emerge to a new light and warmth. Everything has its time. And if there was a period of conflict and heaviness, this card also warns you. Don't push it. Nothing good will now come from returning to things when you are tired. Tend to yourself first. Now you know that the spark of light is about to return, but not just yet. Let the cold spells pass before the green shoots arrive. Let's turn to your next card. Your next card is the Wailing Tree with a theme of reconciliations. This card carries the number 59. Let's allow the image to speak before we name anything. At the center stands an ancient tree, broad and weathered. Within the bark, a face reveals itself, as if slowly emerging from the tree. The expression feels solemn, almost grieving. Around the tree, the foliage grows in warm golds and deep amber tones. Roots feel deeply anchored, shaped by long seasons. Take a breath and notice what details draw you in. The face in the trunk? The warmth in the leaves? What in your life could this tree symbolize? In this position, this card is closely tied to the Ace of Wands. The wand now forming comes from a tree. It grows from something older, from feelings that have been held, from truths that have waited, from emotions that want to be witnessed. The fire itself in the wand is what makes the wand magical. So this spark is not a problem, it's a gift. And yet the tree wails. Why? Is it the part of you that resists the effort, that senses the work ahead and hesitates? Is it the part of you that fears change, that would rather keep things as they are? Is it the voice that says, fire burns and I might get hurt? Or is the wailing coming from outside you, someone who resists this spark, someone who would rather it stay unlit? Sit with what this means for you. Why does the tree wail? And when it does, what will you say to it? From here, we'll move on to your next card. This card explains the dream image of the night. Let's see what we get. Your next card is Stars in the Sky with keywords of limitless possibility, and this card is carrying the number 51. Let the image open in front of you. We'll see a wide stone archway standing like a threshold. Beyond it stretches the vast light of the Milky Way, dense with stars, depth and distance. At the center, a luminous human-like figure appears in meditation, glowing softly against the cosmos. Notice what explanation from this card rise for you. This card has come to explain the Knight of Swords. Earlier, we saw a suit of armor without a knight inside it, calling you to a quest. The Oracle card gives you a taste of how things could become. A quest to widen your horizons. Your quest is bigger and larger than you can now imagine. Not just to the east, west, south and north, but also a quest into the infinite skies. On a more practical level, this card is a reminder for you. Don't settle into the first. Don't limit yourself into what seems obvious. There are limitless possibilities. This card invites patience, perspective, a widening of the mind before it commits to direction. And if the knight represented a person entering your life, a lunar knight, a protector, a sharp-minded ally, then this card suggests they come with horizons, with vision. A lunar knight holding the night sky. I'm going to reach for another deck now and draw one more advising card. This one comes from below, from roots, from the shadow, or from the unconscious. Your advising card from below is the Queen of Water. The image is bathed in deep turquoise and sea green tones. A woman's face appears in profile, eyes closed, calm and inward. Let yourself sense this image for a moment. How different it feels from the Five of Swords. How quiet it is. All right, let's read this card for you. Queen of Water, advising the Five of Swords, from perspective of roots and unconsciousness. This is a call to soothe what was wounded rather than to analyze it. The conflict has already passed, but the body still remembers. So this is an invitation to feel instead of replay. Let emotions move like water without turning them into arguments again. This card speaks of deep self-compassion as a medicine. It advises gentleness towards yourself at first, before understanding anyone else. From the roots, this queen whispers, healing now comes by letting yourself feel safe again. Next, let's see what advice the cards wish to offer about the situation shown by the Ace of Wands. Your advising card here is the Five of Water. Let's begin by letting the image speak. In this picture, we see a figure floating underwater. The body is relaxed, almost suspended, drifting rather than swimming. Behind her curves a large shell, spiraled and ancient, and the water is deep teal. The Five of Water points to an emotional memory held at the root. Not fresh grief, but sorrow that has already been endured, feeling carefully contained, shelled over. The tree may wail because this new spark asks for opening again, and opening means feeling, for you or for someone closely connected to the situation. The guidance here is gentle but discerning. This situation has emotional roots, and they matter. There's no need to rush. Let the idea warm slowly. Some shells open when they are met with patience. Some open only when they are ready to be worked through. And some are not yours to open at all. Your task is to sense the difference and choose wisely where your fire is truly needed. Let's turn to your last advising card. This ties to the quest in the future, to the Knight of Swords. Your card is the Moon. Oh, how appropriate! We have the moon, the lunar night, and the starry sky, all pointing towards the night sky, its vastness, and the symbolism it holds. Let's study the card of the moon more carefully. The moon hangs in the sky, luminous, sleepy. Sitting on a moon is a maiden, gently releasing small stars into the night, or perhaps caressing them. The light is soft, silvery. What feels guided by instinct rather than logic? Now, let's explore what the moon may be offering you. The main message is clear. You're invited to explore your inner knowing. This is a period of night, but of gentle night with guiding moonlight. The moon speaks of intuition and hidden, unseen things. Some truths arrive slowly, through feeling, symbols, with subtle realization. In this position, the moon invites you to trust what you sense, even if you can't explain it. It asks you to move gently, listening inward, allowing understanding to unfold on its own rhythm. And then the cards shift the tone once more. One final message appears, not to end the story, but to show you how all of this is meant to guide you. This card is called Stardust Path. In the image, a narrow path winds through a dark passage, scattered with stepping stones of stars. The message on the card reads, "Follow the path of your dreams. Every step is guided by the stars." This guidance does not reveal the destination, but it guides by lighting the ground beneath your next step, one stone at a time. Hold this image in your mind as we look back at the reading as a whole. Group 1. What is closest to you right now is an invitation to rest, to recover, to sleep, to heal, to soften and tend, to allow time and comfort after conflict and strain. This is a moment to hold yourself close, to let healing settle into the body. Now is not the time for action. But action is approaching. A spark of light and fire is forming, and with it comes change. Change is not always welcomed easily, by you or by others. There are deeper emotional roots beneath this resistance, and your task is discernment, to sense what can be softened with patience and what cannot be opened, no matter how much warmth is offered. And further ahead, the path opens into something wider, starlit, lunar, expansive. Whether this is a calling you step into or a significant presence entering your life, the symbols of the night sky are unmistakable. The stars and the moon are here to guide you. And this is why the group 1 comes to a close. If this reading resonated with you, you're welcome to comment or leave a like. The latter is a simple way to support my work. Thank you for being here with me tonight, whether you listened closely or let yourself drift. I wish you peaceful rest and sweet dreams. Welcome, Group 2. You chose the Page of Swords. Let's meet this card together. As I describe it, notice how unfolding symbolism makes you feel. This is a moment where your intuition is free to form its own impressions before any meaning is locked in. The gaze of her piercing blue eyes is clear and direct, like two sapphires against the dark background. Above her, a sword stretches across the top of the card, like a line drawn in air. And around her head, there's a crown that feels almost unreal, white, intricate, sharp, like thought itself made visible. The whole image has a feeling of alertness, presence. Stay with it for a moment. What does this card awaken in you? Curiosity? Readiness? Clarity? What detail holds your attention? In this reading, the Page of Swords speaks of a mind that is waking up, a new way of seeing, a moment where you stop drifting through something and begin to meet it consciously. This page is often linked to observation and truth, watching closely, asking the right questions, noticing what others miss. She's also a clever student of reality, and her greatest gift is her sharp mind. She is aware. And yet her gaze is soft, like someone who's willing to learn, willing to understand, willing to keep going, even if the answer takes time to arrive. This, my dear Group 2, is a symbolic representation of you. Beside her, you receive an angel number card. This can be viewed as Spirit's first guidance for you. Your number is 1234 with the theme of persistence. The card reads, "Keep going. You have completed a task that is in alignment with your soul's journey. The divine is letting you know that it sees you and all of your persistence is paying off. You are being acknowledged." And the affirmation reads, "I take steps to stay in alignment with my soul's journey, and I reap the rewards of my persistence." In this reading, 1234 feels like progression. It marks your current moment in a sequence of events. It invites you to celebrate how far you've come. Let's continue and see what this persistence is building toward. From here, the reading unfolds in a clear and simple way. The Page of Swords represents you, your current state of awareness, your present moment. Then we'll place cards either close to you or further away. The cards placed close to you show what's already close. This can mean something happening now or soon, or something you're already thinking about, noticing, or sensing. The cards placed further away show what's still forming. Something that hasn't fully arrived yet. It may be coming later, existing in your outer circles, or still taking shape. There's no need to decide exactly what this distance means. We'll let your intuition and your clear mind recognize the pattern as it appears. So join me in taking a steady, grounding breath as we prepare. And when you're ready, let's begin laying down the cards. Oh, something just happened. This card didn't simply appear. It insisted by turning over for you as I shuffled. And it's the Lovers. We'll keep it and pull two more for the full picture. And the third. You know what? Let's turn them all face up now. The second card was still face down. Not anymore. In the middle, the Queen of Cups. And farthest away, the Queen of Swords. Let's study them one at a time. The Lovers. Something in the way this card jumped from the deck tells me that it wants to be acknowledged now. So let's look. This is the Lovers. And yes, sometimes this card is summarized as being a card of a choice. Traditionally, it has been a card of choice. It's true, it still is. But this artwork doesn't allow us to print it's only that. There's heart here, there's tenderness in the atmosphere, there's magnetism. What I love about this version is that it isn't only about a relationship between two people. There's also that meditative figure, centered and still. There's something elevated here, a higher, more conscious current moving through the card. This is a card of love. The Lover speaks of union. For some of you, it may show up as romance, a deepening bond, or a new kind of closeness that feels sweet and real. For others, it may be devotion to inner work, a deeper acceptance of different parts of yourself, a creative spark, a calling, a life that finally begins to feel like it fits your own shape. This card can and will manifest differently for different people, whether it speaks to relationship with others or relationship with yourself. Listen to your intuition as it responds. But the essence is the same. Something is asking to be chosen because it brings you back into wholeness. And the way it arrived tells us something else, too. This is timely. As the card closest to you, the Lover says, "This is already touching your field." Now, let's see what stands beside it and what it's leaning you toward. Your second card is the Queen of Cups. And this feels less like someone entering your life and more like a state you are being invited into. Notice where she sits in the spread, not pressed right up against you, not far off in the distance either. She occupies a middle space, a place of becoming. The Queen of Cups is sensitivity, yes, emotion, intuition, and receptivity. But she's also not overwhelmed by these things. She holds them. This is about meeting yourself with compassion in the middle of something unfolding. There's a divinatory quality in her, a floating, watery presence, a calm inner sea where you're allowed to rest, to listen, to trust what your emotional body already knows. This is about being kind to yourself in this moment. In this position, the Queen of Cups suggests that compassion, especially self-compassion, is part of what's shaping the path ahead. And from this gentle, receptive place, we move towards the next card. The third card, placed furthest away from you, is the Queen of Swords. She feels like the destination of this path. If the Page of Swords is the beginning of awareness, then this Queen is what that awareness grows into. See that? Page of Swords growing into Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords is honest, experienced, and calm. Her words are exact. She is self-reliant, self-respecting, self-disciplined, not through rigidity, but through clarity. In this position, she speaks of a future where your mind has matured and is no longer second-guessing itself, where you trust your own judgment, where you know what deserves your energy and what does not. And this is where we widen the lens. I'll now move to the Oracle deck, cards that speaks from a higher vantage point, from a wider awareness. A higher perspective, a higher self, or a message from the spirit, if you may. From awareness rather than reaction, from insight rather than effort. Let's see what perspective wants to step forward. The card that comes to illuminate the Lovers is Feast of Plenty. And this is where the story becomes rich. Let's study this image. There is a luminous pearl in the center, vines heavy with fruit, a bee carrying sweetness. This is not a card of longing. It's a card of being surrounded by possibility. Feast of Plenty speaks of a moment where life is offering you more than an invitation, more than one feeling, more than one direction that could be explored. For some of you, this may show up as romantic attention, feeling desired, noticed, and courted. For others, it may arrive as creative inspiration, emotional opening, or opportunities that feel nourishing and alive. And yet, just like the Lovers, this card carries discernment with it. Because among the beauty, there are also two swords in the image, a reminder that choices shape outcomes. This isn't about denying pleasure, it's about choosing consciously, from abundance, not from hunger. When there's plenty being offered and you can only eat so much, what will you choose to satisfy you? Feast of Plenty tells us that whatever the Lovers is awakening in your life, you are being invited to taste, to notice, and to choose with awareness. And that awareness will matter, because what you choose here doesn't just feel good, it sets the tone for what grows next. Let's see what we get. Your card here is the Cosmic Womb, the Divine Feminine. This card appears to explain the Queen of Cups from a higher cosmic perspective. This is a powerful affirmation of the space you're in. Cosmic Womb speaks of a place where your future self, your next glorious version, is being nurtured, protected, and allowed to grow without pressure. Placed above the Queen of Cups, this suggests that your sensitivity is fertile ground for growth. It is the very environment where your next version of the self is taking shape. This is emotional maturity being born. Through choosing yourself consistently and with trust. Cosmic Womb reminds you that becoming whole happens when you give yourself conditions to flourish. So if the Queen of Cups is the state where you're learning to inhabit by being compassionate, receptive, emotionally present, Cosmic Womb is the reassurance that this way of being is deeply aligned. The Queen of Cups already embodies beautiful feminine qualities, but this card elevates it into higher octave, cosmic form. This is a truly wonderful, auspicious combination. Let's see what guidance the next card offers for the future version of you, the one reflected in the Queen of Swords. This card is Stranger, and this is a fascinating one, especially placed here as a guidance from the higher self. On a very literal level, if this reading touches your love life or connections, this can point to someone new entering your world. A stranger in the true sense of the word, someone unfamiliar, not part of your usual patterns, someone who brings fresh energy, curiosity. The Queen of Swords is discerning. She doesn't invite just anyone in, but when she does, it's because there is something intelligent, respectful, and enlivening here. On another level, this stranger may not be a person at all, but parts of you. New sides of yourself that feel unfamiliar. Desires, thoughts, or ways of being that don't quite match the old image you had of who you are. Growth often feels strange at first. We change as we move through life, and sometimes we couldn't believe what we are after events have taken place. Keep your mind open. Where you end up might be something entirely different, something strange and wonderful, where you thought you'd end up. I'll draw one more card now, this time from a deck that speaks from the roots, the unconscious layer shaping things beneath the surface. And the King of Fire appears here. Notice that he is indeed King of Fire, not King of Wands. And if you study the card carefully, you notice the heart in this card. His presence here is not very kingly. He feels like the inner counselor who steps close in moments of richness, the voice within that understands passion, attraction, and life force intimately. and knows how to hold them with wisdom. This is your advisor. When your life is abundant and you're feasting, he is the calm advisor to your heart. His guidance is subtle, steady, and sovereign. Remain open-hearted while choosing from clarity rather than impulse. So when desire stirs, when attention flows, when life feels generous, this inner advisor reminds you how to move through it as someone who knows their own worth. From here, we move on to the next card. This card is Seven of Earth. Yes, there's evaluation here. The Seven of Pentacles always carries that sense of pausing, reviewing, taking stock. But notice what is being evaluated. Unlike the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith tarot card seen here on the screen, he is not counting harvest. He is not weighing outcomes, money, finances, or profits. He is gazing into luminous, fairy-like being. Your roots are nourished by imagination, hope, myth, and longing, by luminous fantasy, ethereal beauty, and childlike wonder. The elven quality of the figure matters too. There is something unmistakably otherworldly about him. This is not the farmer archetype. This is the dreamer. Perhaps even an elven lover. The part of you that never stopped believing in something luminous and beautiful, even while moving through very real seasons of work, productivity, and restrictions. From the roots, this card says, your emotional maturity and self-nurturing didn't come from abandoning fantasy. They came from learning how to let wonder coexist with discernment. So, beneath the Queen of Cups and the Cosmic Womb, this card whispers, you are allowed to tend your inner meadow without rushing it into usefulness. You are allowed to believe in what once felt magical, even in this moment. This is where your roots draw water, nourished by the unseen world of imagination, meaning, and enchantment. Let's see how this story continues to unfold as we move to the next card. Your final root card is Justice. And yes, many people will simply label this card as karma. In this spread, that world doesn't feel like punishment. It feels like balance. Yes, justice always carries evaluation, but in this reading it doesn't mean external. It's not you will be judged. It's you will know. This is the justice that comes when desire has been felt fully through lovers, the feast of plenty, and fire. When fantasy has been honored without being mistaken for truth, as with Seven of Earth. When compassion has matured through the Queen of Cups. When curiosity has been lived rather than feared through the Stranger. And when the mind has sharpened into clarity through the Queen of Swords. From the Page of Swords to Queen of Swords. At that point, justice is simply the natural settling of things into their proper shape. Early on, choice can be intoxicating. Abundance, attention, desire, possibility. By the time we reach justice, choice is no longer about temptation. It's about consent with oneself. Justice here says, I chose this knowingly. I accepted what followed. I am not confused with my role in this outcome. Now that the reading is complete, let's look at it as a whole, not card by card, but as one unfolding dream, and listen for its main message. First, I almost feel like apologizing. I don't usually do love readings. I've always believed that if you want to know what someone thinks of you, the most honest and mature way is to ask them, not the cards. Tarot, for me, is about inner landscape, about growth, awareness, becoming. And yet, this reading insisted on telling a different story. They were lovers, a feast of plenty, a king of fire with heart burning at his center, emotional queen, divine feminine currents, even a possible stranger stepping to your life in the future. This reading is timeless, but it arrives close to Valentine's Day, and I won't deny it, the tone turned lush. And when a reading insists on passion, my task as a reader is simple, to be faithful to what shows up. So, Group 2. This reading does shimmer. Nothing about the clear-eyed Page of Swords suggested this at the start. And yet, here we are. Beneath the heat and the allure, though, there are deeper themes, equally important. They might resonate with you more if romance does not. The first is choice. It echoes in the cards again and again, in the lovers, in the feast of plenty with its reminder of actions and consequences, and finally the justice, not as punishment but as balance. This isn't cosmic finger wagging, warning you away from your desire. Quite the opposite. It's an invitation to explore fully and consciously. Because what unfolds might be unexpected, even strange. Another strong current here is the return of magic and creativity. Not reducing yourself to function, not living only to perform, but feeling, loving, allowing beauty, fantasy and nurture and creativity back into your life. Let yourself be moved. And when the night has been lived, be willing to meet the morning that follows. Greet the rising sun even if you're tired. Give yourself a light inner smile. It was a night worth remembering. Now, dear Group 2, let's pull one last card, a card of goodbye and a card of final message. And the final card is Cosmic Flame. The card reads, ignite your inner fire. Your passions are the spark to manifest your desires. At this point, the message in the card says it all. After all the choice, discernment, curiosity, tenderness, fantasy, and responsibility, we arrive here. Yes, this is passion. Yes, this is desire. But the cosmic flame isn't asking you to lose yourself in the heat. It's asking you to honor it, the one that moves through the body and the soul, the force that creates intimacy, art, devotion, longing, courage, and change. The spark that says something in you wants to be lived. So whether this manifests as romance, creative fire, spiritual awakening, or a deep reconnection with your own aliveness, the message is the same. Let what moves you move you. Let desire be conscious, embodied, and chosen. And with that, this dream doesn't end quietly. It ends lit from within. And this is where Group 2's reading comes to a close. Thank you for sharing this moment, this dream with me tonight. This is where the message rests for now. I'd love to hear your comments below, and if you'd like to return for more journeys like this, I'd be grateful if you subscribed. It truly helps this space grow and continue. And may whatever was stirred here continue to glow softly, long after the cards are put away. Sweet dreams, Group 2. But the night is just starting for Group 3. Group 3. You chose the Ten of Swords. This card often carries weight, and it may already have stirred thoughts or memories. As I describe it, notice how you feel, not the story your mind tells, but the sensation that rises first. A body lies at rest, pierced by many blades. The sky above is vast and luminous, the moon watching over the scene. Dragonflies circle the moonlight, and in the distance, a boat moves across the water, its sails filled with wind. What kind of thoughts does it invoke? In this reading, the Ten of Swords speaks of completion. In tarot, images of death are rarely literal. They speak in symbols. This card suggests an ending that has already occurred, a chapter that reached its limit, even if part of you is still catching up. 10 is a number of completion, but also relief. The worst is over. Hope appears in the background in the image, in the boat moving away, the wind filling its sails. Let's see where that movement heads to. The Ten of Swords didn't arrive alone. Beside it, we draw an angel number card. Let's see what it adds to the picture. Your number is 1111. The card reads, "Trust in yourself. Your inner whisper is working hard to let you know that it is guiding you. Listen in. What is it saying? Feel it. Where is it telling you to go next? See it. Close your eyes and allow. Trust the path you're on." The affirmation on the card reads, "My intuition speaks to me and I listen. I trust that all things are happening for a purpose." In this reading, 1111 speaks of intuition coming forward to guide you. There's also a deeper layer to this pairing of the Ten of Swords and 1111. The ending in Ten of Swords may be part of what sharpens your intuition, a turning point, necessary end. something may have been needed to fall away so that your inner guidance could grow stronger, clearer, and more reliable. We'll see how this unfolds as we continue. From here, the reading unfolds very simply. The Ten of Swords reflects where you are now, the ending you've moved through, the current situation. The cards placed closer to it show what is nearest to you at the moment. The ones further away point towards what is approaching. The distance can be interpreted in more than one way. It may speak of time, something approaching soon, or something further away in the future. Or it may speak of inner closeness, what feels close to your heart or situation, and what is still taking shape at the edges. There's no need to decide which way this applies, well, unless you want to. Well, let your intuition, the one 1111 just pointed to, guide how it speaks to you. So, if you'd like, join me for a slow breath to ground and center. And when you're ready, let's begin laying down your cards. Your first card is the Queen of Cups. Let's take a moment to be with her. She appears calm and luminous, crowned and centered, surrounded by water and moonlight. A queen of the night. Lilies blossom behind her, floating dreamily. At the same time, she feels like a queen of oceans, with sea turtle gliding through the waters behind her. Her signature cup rests nearby, filled with the golden liquid, something precious. Before we speak of meaning, notice what this card stirs in you. Does it feel soothing? The Queen of Cups speaks of emotional tending, of care that is intuitive and respects who you are as an individual. She represents a space where both feelings and calm are welcomed. In this position, she suggests that what is closest to you now is healing through softness. Holding yourself or someone else with compassion. After the finality of the Ten of Swords, this queen arrives like water after fire. She reminds you that emotional safety is not a luxury, it's your birthright. Let's see how this tenderness continues to unfold as we move to the next card. Strength. Let's stay with the image before we speak of meaning. A woman faces white lion, not in struggle but in quiet communion. The lion is powerful and luminous. Its presence is calm and alert. Behind them, a mountain rises, crowned by full moon. Delicate butterflies hover around, contrasting the sturdiness of the ancient mountain. Above, the sky feels open, spacious, clear. Take a moment with this image. Where does your attention go first? How does this card speak to you? Now, let's explore what this card may be showing you. This is soft control, courage paired with compassion, energy that listens before it acts. The white lion suggests that the strength in here is rare and personal. Your own kind of strength, not borrowed, not learned by imitation. And the mountain reminds us, for certain goals, true results are built over time, through patience, endurance. Here, strength speaks of inner work and courage to stay present with what arises. Hold your center, lead yourself from there. And from this kind of strength, something new may rise. Let's see what awakens next. Your card is the Nine of Pentacles. Let's stay with the image before we speak of meaning. A woman rests in a garden that feels tended and alive. 9 pentacles arc above her like gilded archway, peacocks rustling in the canopy. Around her, vines climb, flowers bloom, and the scene feels private, protected. Her posture is calm and she holds a small harp at her lap. It's the posture of someone who has built something and is allowing herself to enjoy it. Stay with this image for a moment. What detail draws you first? And what does this card make you feel about receiving what you've earned? Let's now move on to the interpretation. The key word here is self-sufficiency. Not survivalist isolation, but being resourced within yourself. In this position, farthest away, the Nine of Pentacles feels like a destination you are moving toward, a life where your peace isn't dependent on someone else's mood, approval, or presence. A chapter where gratitude becomes natural again, because you're no longer surviving, you're delighting in it, living in creating. After the Ten of Swords, this is a powerful card. It speaks of a journey that is not only an ending, but leading into a rebuild. And it's not a rebuild that copies the old world. It's one that reflects your taste, your standards, your pace, your kind of strength. Hold that as the horizon line. And now, let's continue and let's reflect each of 3 cards from 2 different angles. This reveals a reflection about what needs to happen between here and that garden. I'll switch to oracle cards now and see how they elaborate on these 3 cards. The cards that appear above reflect the higher view, the perspective that watches the wider pattern, not just the moment. Let's turn the card that offers a higher perspective on the Queen of Cups. Your card is Stars in the Sky, carrying the key phrase limitless possibility. It's a card number 51. In the card, a luminous figure sits in meditation, suspended above the landscape. They sit on top of an archway, a threshold, perhaps a bridge, liminal space. Below, the world feels distant, muted, far away. Above, the sky opens into vastness, stars scattered endlessly. The figure is still, alert, in meditation. The posture suggests presence without effort, awareness without strain. Notice how this image feels to you. When you're ready, let's explore what this card adds to the story. This card speaks of calm awareness, of choosing a higher vantage point rather than remaining inside the turbulence of life. It suggests that emotional wisdom, like the Queen of Cups, grows when the mind is allowed to rest above the noise. In this position, illuminating the Queen of Cups, Stars in the Sky points to the power of staying meditative. Almost as if higher self were witnessing this from above and letting you know that you don't need to intervene right now. This card gently reminds you, when you tend your inner waters with stillness, clarity follows on its own. Simply remain present. Let awareness and patience do their quiet work. And from this place of calm, we'll see what unfolds next. Your next card is the Wailing Tree, carrying the theme of reconciliation. This card holds number 59. Let's take a moment with the image. At the center stands an ancient tree, wide and weathered. Its trunk bears a face, not carved but revealed, as if the tree itself has learned to speak through time. The expression feels troubled. The tree is wailing. It has endured and it remembers. Around it, the leaves glow in warm gold and deep amber. This is not a dying tree. Rooted and alive, it looks shaped by many seasons. Notice what draws your attention in the image. What might this tree represent in your own life? Now, let's explore what this card adds to the story. In this position, the Wailing Tree speaks to reconciliation with the past. For many of you, this is a family tree. Strength, as we saw, is about cultivating your own kind of power. And that kind of strength doesn't come from denial or force. It comes from integration. This card suggests that part of your strength is born from making peace with what has been, with old emotions that were never fully acknowledged, with experiences that shaped you, even if they were painful. Reconciliation here doesn't mean approval. It means acceptance. Allowing what was to take its rightful place in your story. No longer fighting it, no longer carrying it in silence. And as that peace settles in, your strength becomes calm, steadier, unmistakably yours. Let's turn the card that offers a higher perspective on the Nine of Pentacles. Your card is Cosmic Womb, marked with the number 6, the Divine Feminine. Let's begin with the image. At the center of the card, there is a luminous sphere, like a pearl of light suspended in the mist. Within it, delicate patterns spiral and shimmer as if something is being woven before it takes form. The edges fade into soft cloud and color, like the world has stepped back to make room for creation. Stay with this for a moment. What does this feel to you? Protection? Possibility? Renewal? And what in your life feel like it's forming in the future? Now, let's explore what this symbol adds to our reading. Cosmic Womb speaks of becoming, the beautiful process of your new self being birthed in the being. This is one of the most auspicious cards in the deck. Cosmic and divine forces aligning to allow the perfect expression of your future self to arrive. A turning point from hardship into alignment. Placed above the Nine of Pentacles, this feels like the deeper truth behind the self-sufficiency. Not, I need no one, but I am rooted in myself and in cosmic love. Happiness that isn't dependent on outside permission. A life that begins to flourish because you are finally allowing it to, receiving your own life, not only building it. This card also echoes the theme of creativity. This is a sign of it flowing freely, this period being exciting, rejuvenating, and full of curiosity and discovery. This is a season of fertility, creatively, spiritually, emotionally. So if Nine of Pentacles is your future garden, beauty, gratitude, and self-respect, Cosmic Womb is the soil beneath it, or the warm weather allowing it to flourish. The sacred space where you become the kind of person who can hold that happiness and keep it. And from this deeper feminine current, receptive, strong, self-trusting, we're left to see what unfolds next. I'll now draw one additional card beneath each main card. This card comes from below, from the roots and the unconscious, offering insight from the foundations and deeper layers of this situation. Let's turn the card that sits beneath the Queen of Cups, the part of the situation that operates beneath the surface. Your card here is Three of Air. Let's begin with the image. A winged figure stands in open air, turned slightly away from the two birds facing each other on a branch. There's a feeling of distancing in the posture, like someone choosing space so that they can breathe again. The atmosphere feels cool and clear, as if the mind is finally able to see. Stay with this for a moment. This looks like a simple image, yet it's full of details. What do they reveal to you? Now, let's explore what this card is revealing. At this deeper level, 3 of Air speaks of accepting the truth, even if it stings at first. It is in your highest good to see the truth, despite the temporary discomfort. So this card doesn't have to mean something went wrong. It can mean something showed its real shape, a connection, a plan, a dynamic, and that honesty is protection. In the roots of your reading, beneath the Queen of Cups, this becomes very gentle. You are learning to step back with self-respect. And paired with the stars in the sky, this feels like a wise pause. Not reacting, not pushing, simply allowing space so that the next right thing can reveal itself. 3 of Air can be a natural departure, a moment where you stop asking something to be what it isn't, and make room for what fits you better. Your higher self reminds you the sky is full of stars. You have limitless possibilities, even when it doesn't always feel that way. If there's any sadness here, it isn't a punishment. It is the clean ache of alignment returning, and from that alignment, something better can take its place. Let's see how this story continues to unfold as we move to the next card. Let's turn to the card that rests beneath strength, the place where courage is tested. Your card here is 9 of Air. A winged figure stands elevated, arms outstretched. Not in flight, but in balance. Birds circle freely around her. Her posture feels open, almost devotional. There is something unmistakably protective here. The wings recall an ancient gesture, like the outspread wings of Isis. Stay with the image for a moment. What does it feel like in your body? Is it a relief? Permission? Self-forgiveness? Now let's explore what this card is revealing. This card is of blessing and of maturity. Here it says, I will be okay. I am okay. I forgive myself and possibly others for being human. As the root of strength and the wailing tree, this feels deeply important. Because real strength isn't born from never struggling. It's born from staying kind to yourself while you struggle. This card suggests that beneath your courage, there may have been anxiety, second guessing, moments where you replayed things late at night and wondered if you should have done more, known more, been more. But the wings tell a different ending. They say, you did the best you could with what you had. 9 of Air invites self-criticism to loosen its grip. You are not weak from having worried. You are strong because you are learning to lay that burden down and be compassionate towards yourself. On a metaphysical level, this card reminds you there are many sides to this story, and you are wise to see that. And on a mystical level, it offers reassurance. You are blessed. The protective wings are around you. This will be okay. Let's turn the card that sits beneath the garden, the foundation that makes this abundance possible. Your card here is Two of Air. Before we speak of meaning, take a moment with the image. A figure stands poised, balanced between movement and stillness. There is air around them, space, openness, but also focus. Two birds balance at her hands. This is the moment before action. Notice how this feels to you. Is it tension or clarity waiting to be claimed? Now let's explore what this card is showing. At its core, Two of Air is a card of choice, not impulsive decision making, but conscious alignment. As the root of this garden and coming with the cosmic womb, this card suggests something important. This fertile timeline doesn't arrive by accident. It opens when you choose in accordance with it. This card gently asks, what are you ready to stop postponing? Step after step, one conscious choice after another, until you look back and see them as stepping stones to your garden. And you think to yourself, of course I arrived here. I took all the brave, bold and smart steps required to achieve this. With every card now turned, we can finally see how the story comes together. This reading tells a story of a chapter that ended decisively, clearing the ground for something far greater. From here on, you walk listening to your intuitive knowing. The path guides you first into rest and rejuvenation. A necessary pause where your higher awareness asks you to listen rather than act, to soothe your emotional body, and to allow truth and clarity to surface without force. From here, the journey deepens. Your strength is tested, not through conflict, but through reconciliation with what you carry from the past. And you are reminded that real strength grows through compassion toward yourself. Even when anxiety or doubt rises, you are shown that you are protected, watched over, and that you did the best you could with what you had at the time. Finally, the choices you make from this place of awareness begin to shape a new timeline. Each honest decision becomes a stepping stone towards a life that is both materially and spiritually abundant, a future that feels fertile, supported, and cosmically aligned. This is not just recovery. This is arrival. Before we close this chapter, let's turn one final card, not to extend the story, but to offer a guiding note as you step forward. Your final card is the Eclipsed Truth, a guiding note as you step forward. The message on the card reads, "Hidden truths are being revealed to you. Embrace the clarity that follows." This speaks of the moment of clarity that the Two of Swords hinted at. Eclipses are cosmic turning points, sometimes potent, sometimes eye-opening. They can signal a catalyst for change, a moment where something moves, something aligns, and suddenly you can see more clearly than before. Here, Eclipsed Truth suggests that an understanding is already forming, naturally as things fall into place. You may notice this as a realization, a quiet sense of, "Oh, that's what it was." So let this be your closing note. You are moving forward with clearer sight and a deeper trust in what you already know. And this is where the Group 3's reading ends. If this reading stirred thoughts, I'd love to hear them in the comments below. And if you'd like to return for more readings like this, I'd love to have you subscribe. It would help this channel to grow. Thank you for spending this time here tonight. I'll leave you now with the rest of your day and wish you sweet dreams when you next lay down to rest.